Welcome traders to the Price Action Volume Trader channel. Today I want to have a quick video talking about the different elements that I use when trading the open versus the close of the session. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about the futures markets, which is my main day trading market, NASDAQ and the SP 500. And just gonna go over the different elements that I use and what I am watching for as the day develops. I always like to have split session volume profiles. So what do I mean by that? This is a 5-minute NASDAQ chart. So right here, I always like to have in blue, this is the extended trading hours, 6 p.m. Eastern to 9:30 a.m. Eastern of the next day. And then following that, we have regular trading hours all in gray. This is how I like to have it, from 9:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. And this is going to be just the regular market, stock market hours. Well, stock market closes at 4, and then we have that last hour, 4 to 5. And then 5, we have the close and settlement. And then we have the daily close or pause from 5 to 6 in the futures market, okay? Now, as you see, I'm using TradingView here. I normally will day trade. Sometimes I use TradingView for some trader funding prop accounts that I use, but I also use Sierra Chart, mostly for the order flow tools. But in this video, I'm going to keep it more just on pure price action and volume profile elements. So I'm just going to use TradingView because it's a lot more straightforward and simpler to use. So elements that I always look out for when it comes to my charts. Well, as you can see, I have a value area, which is 68% of the volume. Then I have value area high, low, and a point of control. Same elements here on the regular trading hour profiles. Okay, so those are things that I have set standard that I always use. And then I always like to use also a lot of VWAPs, volume weighted average price. So let's say I have it right here, anchored VWAP. There's unfortunately TradingView doesn't have an indicator of a VWAP that resets after every session, but what I like to use is just the anchor VWAP. So then let's say I put it at the start of this evening session. Let's put it in a lighter purple tone. So just like that. So basically, these are the main elements that I use. So then, what's the difference trading the open and the close? Well, obviously, when you're trading the opening of a session right here, nothing has still developed yet on the regular trading hours. And obviously, regular trading hours are always going to hold more significance because the volumes are so much bigger. If I put the volume indicator here, you can just see how the volume on regular trading hours is so much higher. Here, all during the Asia session, it is very, very low. It increases slightly at 3 a.m. Eastern time when Europe, London opens, but then at 9:30 is when it really shoots up. So, as I'm going to explain later in the video, if I'm trading the extended trading hours, then all the different levels from the regular trading hours are going to hold a lot more significance than if I'm trading regular trading hours and I'm looking back at extended hour levels. But I will still reference those as well. Okay? So then what I do is, let's say the market opens up here. And again, I know I'm just doing this all in hindsight. I'm just basically telling you what elements of things I look for when I am trading. Obviously, I'm going to do a high time frame analysis. I'm going to have a high time frame volume profile levels, low volume nodes, etc. and I'm also going to have horizontal support and resistance levels marked out. But when it comes to intraday, so when we open up over here, I'm looking at the point of control and value areas. I'm also going to be identifying the high volume nodes of the profiles, in this case from the extended hours session. I'm also going to look for the high and the low of the previous session as well. Those are always significant levels as well. Okay, so that's the elements that I'm going to be looking for reactions. I will also put a new VWAP that's going to start, and let me change the color. That's going to start in the new session. This is something that I've started doing recently, and I made a video about it not too long ago on my YouTube, where I used to put the new VWAP and then delete this one, but then I started noticing that the VWAP from the previous level holds a lot of significance as well. And you can see it right here on this example, this VWAP coming from 6 p.m. when the day opened. Then we opened at 9:30. It gave a little bit of resistance. We break above, and then look how nicely lined up and the reactions that we are getting from the previous session and the current VWAPs on this session. So I found that the levels of the previous session's VWAP is good to have it roll over into the current session in order to use those. Now, as far as the volume profile levels, once this session has developed enough where, like for example here, is developed a range now, after about like the first hour of trading, now we can start getting a development of the current volume profile, and that's when I will stop, especially if they're overlapping like this. Like you can see, price overlapped everything from the extended hour session. If we were making like new lows, then I would need to reference past sessions down at these levels. But since we're overlapping here, we already overlapped the whole profile over here. And so now I start paying more attention just to the local high volume nodes and profile that is developing on the current session that we are in. If we move over, for example, this is the example. This is Tuesday, October 15th, regular trading hours, then Wednesday night, and then Wednesday during the day, regular trading hours. So you can see, for example, this, that's too thick. This value area high from the extended hours marked the exact top that we had on the regular trading hours. And you can see we had a very thick, nicely defined profile. It was a pretty balanced extended hour session, and then we got a very nice reaction off of it. Also, right here you can see at the open we had a very strong drive down, then we came back up and we start finding resistance also right around the value area low level as well. If we put in the VWAPs, let's put in the VWAP of the previous session. So in this case, you can see VWAP was not as significant element. And if we put the VWAP for this regular trading hour session, let me send this backwards. Right there, let me take off the volumes. So this session was not as trending. When we don't have big trending sessions, VWAP does tend to be chopped up around more. So in this case, we did not get very clearly defined opportunities right off of VWAPs. So I'll take those off. But then you can see how as we started developing the session here, probably right around this point, I'm not really referencing this anymore. Well, in this case, we would also need to go further back left, because you can see that below this level, we don't have anything on this extended hours. So that means I need to reference the previous session from the day before in order to look for levels of support and resistance, potentially using the high volume nodes there. But then you can see as the session develops and we're trading more towards the close, now when we're in the closing hours, especially after the lunch hour, like after 1 p.m., my main focus is now going to be exclusively on the current session profile, my value area high, low, etc. And you can see, for example, here we had this resistance broke through, so we're developing some nice cuts, low volumes there. We find support, then we break down, test from underneath, and we had a nice reaction from there from the other side. If we come back here, let's look at these two sessions. We had a extended hours that was started slow, and then we got very bullish, very strong trend upwards, then a very volatile move down in the regular trading hours, and then you can see this pullback. We have a really large high volume node there. We had some significant support right towards the end, around the last 3 hours of the regular trade, in the extended hours. And then you can see when we came back up here, right into this low volume node area here, which was the support that we just mentioned, we came back up, and now we're finding resistance from that level there. And then on this session, we know that once we came down and we made these two significant lows, we're making a very big edge on this session node here. And then when we come back again, we're gonna expect support at these areas now, as this session volume profile has been already developing a lot. Okay, so basically that is in a nutshell the elements and the things that I look in the trading, the open versus the close. So when we're in the open, we're obviously going to have a lot more significance to the previous session levels, and then as we're moving towards the close, our volume profile for the session is a lot more developed, our VWAP is more developed, and now we have more information to just focus exclusively on the current sessions profile in order to guide us for the conclusion of the trading day. Okay, that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you're having a great week. Again, if you have any requests or questions for future videos, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to try to get some extra content for all of you. Make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next one.